Hi everyone, I'm Megan Simmons. I'm a biogeochemist and modeler, and a project scientist on the community engagement team for model data archiving in ESS-DIVE, which I'll be talking about today. ESS researchers produce a wide range of environmental data, and we accept all forms of these data and currently have a small collection of model data like these packages shown here. However, we've lacked optimization for model data in terms of infrastructure and guidelines, as well as community consensus on what would be scientifically useful to archive and how to curate the data to ensure it's findable and accessible. Thus, my main objective has been to synthesize the community needs and outline a path forward. Our approach was centered around community consensus through various means of engagement, including a feedback form, one-on-one interviews, webinars, and group discussions. We received feedback from 12 respondents representing 12 DOE projects and 17 models, which are very diverse, with a vast range of spatial and temporal representations requiring different inputs, which represents a considerable challenge with standardizing what's archived. Despite having all these differences, there were consistencies in the overall responses. For example, when they were asked what features are needed from the repository, we found that not only was long-term data preservation desired, but also data sharing capabilities, usability, and clear documentation. Surprisingly, modelers also agreed on the importance of archiving all of these modeling components in order to reproduce the simulations and the final tables and figures, as well as having some level of outputs. Thus, the initial need is to archive what is required to meet journal and funding requirements. And in the long term, we identified that the need is to standardize the model to archive and data to model pipeline, which would improve existing inefficiencies in modeling and archiving workflows. This engagement effort culminated in a white paper on the community needs for model data archiving and the options to scale ESS-DIVE to the growing data volumes. This paper sets the stage for our next steps, which are to develop model data archiving guidelines with the community that will describe the best practices for organizing the data packages for given papers and what exactly to archive based on what's scientifically useful. We will also be working on how to support uploads of big data, which you'll hear about from Shreyas later on, and related to this, setting up interoperability with ESGF, which Mario will be discussing next. Thanks for listening.